Hi, Lee Phillips here. I want to talk to you about an IRS Power of Attorney. You know what powers of attorney are. I'm going to give somebody else the ability to act on my behalf. Well, why would I want to give the IRS or somebody else the ability to act with the IRS on my behalf? Well, actually, I give my accountant that. Now, he's not an accountant, he's an enrolled agent, but it allows him to get immediate notice of anything that comes out of the IRS that's coming to me. He'll know about it before I get it. It gives him the ability to look at all of my 1099s, my W-2s, all of that stuff before he files my taxes. One of the biggest audit risks is I forget a 1099. That's going to automatically key in because the computers at the IRS get a copy of all of the 1099s that come to me, and they match up my tax return with the 1099s that they have. And if there's one on that they've gotten that I haven't posted on my tax return, then they're going to want an audit. It's an easy audit. They just want the information on the 1099. But it allows your accountant to be able to key in and find out all of that information. Now, you sign, you get the power of attorney off the IRS website, and you sign it. You can actually name anybody to be your power of attorney, your brother, your sister, your mom, dad, your kid, whoever. And then they then have the ability to interact with the IRS. You're going to send the power of attorney to the IRS, and it's going to take them a week or two to clock that into their system. So until they've clocked it into the system, your accountant or whoever can't actually access your account. But once they can access your account, they can see everything. I had a client this last week, and he's old, and didn't know if he'd even filed his taxes. Well, we got a power of attorney. It took us a couple of weeks, but we figured out, no, he hadn't filed his taxes. He'd been filing off and on over the years. We can go back. We can see all of his 1099s, all of his W-2s, everything he gets, his retirement, everything in there. And we can regenerate that those taxes. He's actually going to get refunds, so we probably won't have to pay anything. There's no penalties or anything. In fact, they may pay us some interest. What we don't have is the state. What does the state have? There isn't a durable power of attorney for our state. So we're going to have to go to the state, give them the EIN number of the company that issued this guy the 1099, and we're going to say we need to match that with the 1099 that we're aware of. What do we owe in the state? So that's going to be harder, but in the IRS, it's pretty easy. Now, if you've had an accountant and he's had a power of attorney for you and you've changed accountants, I don't want him to have my power of attorney anymore. Fine. Have the new guy file another power of attorney. When the IRS processes that, it'll kick the old guy off. So you can update it, so to speak, by filing another power of attorney. You don't need a power of attorney to see your own account. You're going to go to id.me, and you're going to set up an account. It's a private entity, but it allows you to access the IRS records, your records at the IRS. You can see everything with the ID and Me account. So that's important. ID and Me, once you set up the account, they do the patent office, they do Social Security, they do a lot of government agencies. There are basically two of these private entities. One of them does half the government agencies and the other one does the other half. You probably want ID and Me because you're going to deal with IRS, Social Security. These are the guys you're going to deal with usually. But you don't need a power of attorney for yourself. Now, use the power of attorney and get an accountant who's going to ask for the power of attorney, or an enrolled agent that's going to ask for the power of attorney. My guys, like I say, they do it all, and they actually have me file my taxes not late, but they have me kick the can down the road for a while, and we get an extension, and then we don't have to file until actually in the fall. But we usually file somewhere late summer. By that time, everybody's filed their 1099s and everything on me, so they can go in and they can look and see exactly what the IRS has, so they don't miss anything. But they need the power of attorney to do that. So you should be dealing with these IRS powers of attorney. If you're not, come use my guys. They'll take you on. They're very good. They're all former IRS agents. And they understand exactly what they're doing. Just call the office. I can introduce you to them if you want, if you don't have your accountant dude. But they're really good at tracking down this stuff at the IRS, and it's through the power of attorney that they do that. This is Lee Phillips. I'm talking about the IRS power of attorney.